signal now for when I'm needed. But when that light hits the sky, it's not just a call. It's a warning to them.
Yes, sir. Welcome to the Gotham Chronicles Beyond the Bat Signal. I'm your host, Domenic. Join me as we dive into the depths of Batman's lore, dissecting the rogues gallery, and uncovering the stories of our iconic vigilante known as the Dark Knight. Merry Christmas to you all, as this is, yes, can I say Merry Christmas? How many days? 4 days after? Or, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, and Happy New Year if you're listening to this after January 1st. We got another doozy of an episode where I'm going to be reviewing Batman The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween, issue number 1 of 4, which is titled Hault. But before I get into it, I need to thank every single one of you for tuning in to today's episode, and I'm noticing that you guys are even tuning into previous episodes. We got a couple big highlights. One where I had from the Scream Along podcast, Rick talking about our top 5 favorite Batman movies, or to me, guys, I love listening to is Peter R. Vera from Batman on Film and Straight Outta Gotham, and Mr. Ryan Lauer, who is also from Batman on Film, and he's got his own podcast that is the Batman Book Club. Highly recommend that you tune into those podcasts, whether it's Batman on Film, Straight Outta Gotham, or the Batman Book Club. Amazing. Or even Rick's podcast, especially if you're into horror. I have a lot of fun listening to each of them. Now, speaking of my podcast, if you'd like to rate and review this show, that would really help spread the word. And you can do that on Apple or Spotify. And leave it 5 stars, leave a comment. That'd be massive. And I also noticed that a lot of you have been listening through YouTube. Again, smash a like. And that goes a long way to help spreading the word. Now, if you want to follow along on what we are doing over here, feel free to follow along at X/Twitter at Beyond Bat Signal. And if you want to email me, you can reach me at beyondthebatsignal@gmail.com. Now, let's get into today's episode of The Last Halloween, issue number 4, where it is written by Jeph Loeb, and art is by Cliff Chiang. I think I'm saying it right. And let me tell you that I had actually a lot of fun reading this. Is it my favorite out of the 4 that have been released? I'm not sure. It's a good one, though. I actually really enjoyed this issue. I think what I'll talk about first is the story, and I'll review it. I'll kind of talk about, what happened within the story. So I'm just going to crack this book open right now. And we kind of pick up right where we left off, where Mario Falcone has shot Batman. And the first panel is, you can see that there's blood coming out of the right side of Batman, right just under his armpit, right in the rib area. And he is struggling. But then you see, it's like a thought bubble, and you could tell that it's Robin and what he's thinking, and he's reviewing as to his life and when his parents were alive. He's reflecting on the Flying Graysons, how before his parents passed away that day, they did an extra show, and his dad said, it's for the kids. And I kind of like getting this little insight as to Robin and who he is, right? I love me some Dick Grayson, to be honest. So if I can get more of that, by all means. And the way that they use Dick, especially in this story. He seems like he's the focal point. I really enjoyed it. We do get some, I guess, Christmas in here with the background of a Christmas tree, even the colors. So, like, I got cover A for Tim Sale, and the font being green and red, very Christmassy still. And Robin, or Dick, is just reflecting on when his parents were murdered, that he never wanted to do another Christmas again. But while that's all going on, there is a fight. So looks like Bruce takes out the knife and he punches right across the face. He punches Mario right across the face, and then looks like Mario's grabbing his knee, and it looks like he's been stabbed in the knee. That's what it looks like. It's like a little bit of blood. I'm not quite sure, but anyway. So, and then we get into the next page where you got Robin and Alfred just kind of hanging out and playing chess, and you got this Batmobile just charging right in, and Robin right away knows something's wrong. And you get this, like, basically it's like a 2-page spread of the Batmobile. And as I mentioned, I love cars, and anytime that there's a Batmobile, I'm always going to look and admire it. And to be honest, this one looks fantabulous. It's like a nice mix of Batman 89, Batman and Robin, and then like a comic booky kind of Batman. That's what it looks like anyway. So Robin's obviously, he's noticing that the Batmobile's coming in. He's like, something's wrong. And Robin pushes Alfred out of the way. Now, Robin still reflecting about how he never wanted to do a Christmas again until he met Bruce Wayne. And he was saying that not only did he save my life, but Bruce gave me a life. And that's huge, right? I mean, it's like he's talking about how kind of a man Bruce Wayne is. And then here they are, right? They look into the car, Alfred and Robin, and they're like, we need to get this guy out now because he looks like he's in trouble. And yeah, he's bleeding. So how did he get there? Well, it looks like he helped himself into the Batmobile, and the car went on autopilot right to the Batcave. And Robin being concerned, like, oh my God, like, he's thinking about his parents that passed away, and now here's Bruce Wayne, where he's like, Bruce is not breathing. And Alfred is like, listen, we need to get him out now, put him on the surgical table, and every second counts right now. And I guess Robin was talking a lot, and obviously concerned, asking like Alfred, like, listen, is he going to be okay? And Alfred's just putting him in his place, saying, listen, be quiet. So, Batman's here on the surgical table, and we got this one page where you have Alfred checking his heart, Robin panicking, like, listen, Alfred, you need to fix him. And we get a kind of a good glimpse of the Batcave and the Batcomputer. And following that, we turn our sights on, I guess it was the two guys, I don't know if they were fishermen and whatnot. But anyway, it was the guys who threw Solomon Grundy into the middle of the ocean. And I knew this guy wasn't dead because it looked like he was swimming away. And sure enough, they're like, is this boat leaking? Like, what the heck? And all of a sudden you see Solomon Grundy just show up, beat the living daylights out of these two guys. And Grundy basically just throws him back into the water. The boat crashes, explodes, and we know he's alive, right? And then we kind of follow after that. We're back into the Batcave, and you can see that there's a flat line, and Robin, obviously concerned, is like asking Alfred, is he dead? And through the thought process of Dick Grayson, he's like, I can't go through this again. I can't go through losing someone I love again. And with Alfred, he's like, we have 5 minutes, maybe less. So he does CPR on Bruce Wayne, and then all you see is an uptick in the heart rate monitor, and beeping, beeping, and sure enough, Batman's back. Now, the one reoccurring panel that I actually loved was, they show the, how the Dick Grayson's passed, or the Flying Graysons passed away, was that there was a cut cable, right? And sure enough, that's the one panel that is constantly reappearing. And Robin, still like very young and very raw and very new, like, but you still see it's his younger self screaming out, "Yay!" Right? Like excited that, like, thank God, like Bruce is gonna still be okay, right? But Alfred, like, still looks worried. He's like, he's got a punctured lung, blood is filling up in there, and we need to take the bullet out. And they do. But Robin still reflecting on that night that his parents passed away, and that frayed line. That's what they were talking about, that frayed line. So that cable that just snapped. And normally Robin checks on it constantly. That was part of his job. And that night, it was just slightly torn. And then that was the night that the Flying Graysons passed away. So, in the meantime, you have Robin and Alfred, while Batman is still recovering from his injuries and passed out. And you have the dates, December 26th to 27th, 28th, all the way to New Year's. And the Batmobile, when it crashed into the cave, it crashed and there's some damage to it. So here's Dick and Alfred bonding, trying to repair the car. Like, Alfred's obviously the mechanic. You can see Robin's screwing on the tires, fixing the brakes, using a wrench. Very manly of him. And then one of the final panels in this one page on December 30th is, you can just tell that Alfred's just wiping down the card. Yeah, so I love that shot. But Robin's kind of like, you said if he wakes up. And then Robin just reiterates, you mean when? And Alfred goes, indeed. And love it, where the final panel, also on December 31st, Alfred, go get some sleep. If anything happens, I promise I'll get you. Yes, tomorrow's a brand new day. And Robin excitedly says, a new year. So, Robin, this has like Batman Forever vibes, where, I don't know if you remember, Dick Grayson finds the Batcave, hops into the Batmobile, and then that other car disappears. Well, Robin decides to go on autopilot, desired location, and he's like right to Arkham Asylum, where Batman prohibited Robin from going, and someone else, which I loved. Anyway, you really get a taste of that like Need for Speed, where Robin's just flying out of the Batcave and going through the snow. Love that there's that image, and there's a panel of just the Batmobile just cutting through snow. Reminds me of Batman Returns. I just watched it actually with my wife Victoria. There's something about, like, when Batman's going through and looking at Oswald Cobblepot in Batman Returns, and that Batmobile is just kind of cutting through the snow like a hot knife through butter. Yeah, like that. Anyway, love that scene. It's something similar. So Robin goes, visits none other than Calendar Man. I still feel like this guy's going to play a big role into this series, but we'll see. And he's just saying, like, aren't you up a little late, Boy Wonder? And Robin's trying to investigate. Like, tell me what you know, and maybe I can get you out of here. And then, sure enough, Calendar Man's just like, listen, you're on the wrong side. And Robin just says, nope. I stay out here, and you stay in there. And he's just like tipping the glass window. And someone reappears, someone that warned him to get out and not stay here, Catwoman. And she's obviously looking out for him. She's still bandaged up from that shot. And Robin was like, so Robin and Catwoman duke it out, and he's got the bow, and he hits her right where it hurts on the leg, and she's just like, damn you. But Catwoman, I love how she was drawn, still in purple, still with the tail, still traditional to exactly what she required. But there's a small little panel where Robin misses and hits the glass, and the glass cracks. It's a small panel, and you kind of you look and you're like, it crack. Like, okay, Calendar Man's going to get out. Now, Robin thinking in his head, it's like, this better work or Bruce is going to be so mad. And for obvious reasons, right? Like, he's like, listen, you can't be in here. Like, he can't be in Arkham Asylum, right? But while Bruce is passed out, Robin feels like he has to take it upon himself to do the investigation. Put in the work. So, anyway, Robin's trying to draw Catwoman in, and he's got what is like this sleeping gas. It looks like spray paint. He just sprays it right in her face. He kind of outsmarted her, which I like. But anyway, then you have a quick panel on Julian Day, Calendar Man, coughing because there is a crack, and this sleeping gas is seeping through. Anyway, Solomon Grundy shows up to GCPD, and I'm assuming that's where it is. Or is it Blackgate? I don't know. Anyway, they don't indicate, but definitely at the police station. And you have a picture or a panel of Jim Gordon just wishing Lopez a happy new year. And smash. Glass just shatters completely. And you got Solomon Grundy just throwing concrete blocks through these windows. And he enters, and he's there to take out none other than Gilda Dent. And she just asks, Solomon, did he send you? Did my Apollo send you to rescue me? And with complete ease, Grundy just tears open the cell. He goes up to where the bat signal is, smashes the bat signal, and in his traditional way, Solomon Grundy. But, he takes off with Gilda Dent, okay? I never realized how high this guy jumps. Like, this guy's got some serious hops. Anyway, he takes off with Gilda Dent, and she's in his arms, and she whispers Harvey while she's in Grundy's arms. So, we have Robin, who is basically strapped in Catwoman back into the Batmobile, and she's like, what are you doing? And she gives him a nice slap in the face. But what does he do? He brings Catwoman back home to the Batcave because he needs her. He needs her for one reason and one reason only, and it's to support and help Batman come back. And I love this line where she just looks at him, and while Batman is he's just wired up, has a breathing tube on, and basically the oxygen mask, she just looks at him and says, you look like hell. I'm taking this oxygen mask off. It looks like, I don't know what she whispers to him. I don't know if this is just a whisper or breath, but it kind of looks like a whisper as to what she's saying. The reader doesn't know. But then she kisses him. And sure enough, that kiss, brings him back to life. Now, if we all watch Batman Returns, I love the line where Bruce and Selina are like, mistletoe can be deadly if you eat it, and a kiss can be deadlier if you mean it. I love it. Anyway, so here's Selina giving him a nice little kiss, and Robin's just like, what did you say to him? And Catwoman responds, I gave him one of my 9 lives. And then again, you see the panel of the ripped cable where the Flying Graysons die, and then Batman coughing. Robin immediately goes to Bruce and just gives him the biggest hug. And I feel like this comic or this issue was just all about Robin reflecting on his life, his time where he lost his parents, and what would happen if he lost Bruce. And, that one page where Robin just freaking hugs Batman, squeezes. It looks like he's squeezing him so tight. And he's like, I know that sometimes he thinks I'm not ready for my part, or that I'm too reckless for him. But tonight I saved Batman's life without a net. And, one line it actually didn't mention was something that his dad said, was because, they never used a net underneath to keep them safe, right? And the nickname that the Flying Graysons have were the death-defying Graysons. And, right here, Robin's just saying, I saved Batman's life without a net. And Robin was death-defying, right? He had to take on Catwoman, strap her into the Batmobile, basically, to trap her, and help Batman as Catwoman's just looking on. And here's Batman, who is just, I guess, really humbled and grateful, and says, to Alfred, I just want to say, thank you, Alfred. So one of the next scenes is we have Batman and Catwoman in the Batmobile, and Batman's just questioning her, why this place? What are you hiding? And she clearly is hiding something, because she's just saying, brushing it off by saying, give it a rest, will you? It's been a long night. So they're back at Arkham Asylum, and Batman's just the gates are open, something's wrong. And then Catwoman responds, yeah, well, in my experience. And then there's a huge shout, Happy New Year, Bat in the Cat. No good deed goes unpunished. And the following page, we know who's out. And it is Joker, who's been released. And here's to the latest and greatest. All the loonies have left the bin. And for my New Year's resolution, I gotta catch them all. Nice little Pokemon reference. And, Joker, which I love the way he's drawn, pretty interesting. It looks like he's got Mad Hatter's hat. My assumption, he's got the Riddler bow, or cane, whatever you want to call it. It looks like Poison Ivy's, I guess, I don't know what it is, but it's a bunch of leaves just wrapped around him like a necklace. And what else has he got here? He's got a big gun, but I feel like that's the Joker gun. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, we can sure tell that up next, the next villain for the issue number 5, Joker's back. So this is a pretty good issue. You're kind of wondering, okay, what's going to happen to Bats? How long is this going to go? Is he going to be out for a couple of issues, or how long? I like that we get some insight into Robin and what he went through when he lost his parents, and the worry that's going through his mind. Where, really, in this long Halloween series, you never really have Batman that's just been beaten to a pulp like that. He was shot, punctured lung. And of course, and then you have him back out there not too long after. But Robin's the one who's worried, this is his mentor, a father figure that he's about to lose again. And he was just not ready to do that, right? And there's well, what can we do? And he's telling Alfred, fix him. We need him. And he was worried, right? And obviously Alfred had to kind of stay calm and stay focused and kind of refocus, not only because I'm sure Alfred's oh my God, I might lose a son, my surrogate son. And sure enough, then you have a kid panicking, and you got to calm him down while he's feeling all these nerves. It was a really interesting issue. I enjoyed it. I would give it an A-. I thought that the art, to be honest, I feel like the entire series has been seamless. So I was worried because, Tim Sale is a legend in his own right, especially when it comes to a long Halloween. And I just feel like every single artist, including Cliff Chiang, has done a superb job filling in and just honoring who Tim Sale is. There's no doubt about it that this feels like a long Halloween series. It just does. It fits in so seamlessly. And that's not to take away from Tim Sale. It's more about honoring who Tim Sale is and what these guys are doing and capable of doing to fit in this world. You know, you got Batman, who in this issue here is just helpless, right? So it was Robin, his sidekick, who had to like think outside the box. Like, I don't know if Alfred would have gone into Arkham Asylum, right? There's no way, right? But here's Robin taking it upon himself and just saying, like, listen, death defying. And he had no net, no safety net. It was just him and him alone. And the issue is now Arkham Asylum, the floodgates have opened, Joker's out, and really curious to see where this all goes. Like, what happened to Mario Falcone, for one, because the issue doesn't give that away. Two is what's going to happen, with Joker. We don't know. Three, what's Catwoman hiding? Because there is something it seems like she's up to something. And four is Calendar Man, Julian Day. You know, he's obviously released, and what's his angle? I feel like he's going to be playing a big role. He has been throughout the entire series. Definitely looking forward to next issue, where we have Joker on the cover. That's going to be by Tim Sale. Most likely going to get that one. Pretty stoked about it. But and overall, I thought the art was honestly so well done. I'd have to go through each of the issues to kind of review just the art alone. But you know, they got some nice splash pages where, you know, you got the one of the Batmobile just crashing in, and then Robin pushing Alfred out of the way, which was fantastic. Another big one, which was Alfred and Robin looking over Batman, worried out of the mind, and then you have like the blood that's transferring from the Batmobile all the way to the surgical table. Solomon Grundy's back, and you can tell that Harvey Dent is definitely not dead. And then even like just the nice little action between Robin and Catwoman. You know, something I wouldn't have expected. But Catwoman definitely looking out for Robin for sure. And then just something heartwarming where you have like this kid who was so worried to lose Batman. And yeah, I thought it was, I don't know, I enjoyed this issue. Would I say it's my favorite out of the four? No. This is much more of a Robin-focused issue. But with that said, I did enjoy it. Definitely worth picking up. I've been loving this series so far. Really curious to hear what you guys think. Shoot me an email if you have any comments or questions. Definitely love to hear from you. And please, rate and review this show. I will share your review on air, whether it's on Apple or Spotify. And yeah, I think that's it. I believe I might talk about the whole thing that's going on with the Batman Part 2. And if you're not sure, Batman Part 2 is delayed, which, I mean, I guess I'll talk about that after, but, you know, it's a bummer. But with that said, I just want to wish each and every one of you guys a happy new year. All the best in 2025. I thought 2024 was a spectacular year for Batman. And it's going to continue. We still got the Long Halloween, the Last Halloween, and then we got Hush Part 2 that's going to be coming out. So we got two bangers. I know Pete and Ryan have been reviewing or talking about, especially on the Batman Book Club, where they're talking about how great Detective Comics have been, or Detective Batman. So it seems like it's been pretty interesting. Now, with that being said, my name is Domenic Yanika, wishing you guys all a happy new year. All the best in 2025. This is Beyond the Bat Signal, signing off.